3 days ago, I walked into a hospital thinking it would be a beautiful moment. My 10-year-old daughter was finally about to meet her baby sister. I thought there would be smiles, maybe tears, maybe that instant connection you sometimes see between siblings. Instead, I left shaking, my heart pounding, my mind racing. Because in that hospital room, I realized something that made my stomach turn. My daughter's father and his girlfriend had given their newborn the exact same name as my daughter. First name, last name, identical. And in that moment, it felt less like a happy family introduction and more like watching someone try to erase my child in real time. It didn't start this way. In my mid-20s, I had a drunken hookup with a friend. It wasn't glamorous, and it wasn't part of some long love story, but it led to something real. My daughter. When we found out I was pregnant, we agreed to keep the baby, to co-parent, to stay friends. We were never a couple, and we didn't want to be one. And over the years, we made it work. We built a rhythm. He had his life, I had mine, and we had our daughter in the middle. 4 years ago, he started dating his current girlfriend. I supported it. I didn't see her as a threat. When they moved in together last year, I encouraged my daughter to be respectful when she stayed over. When his girlfriend got pregnant, I backed them both. I wanted my daughter to feel excited about having a sibling. I made it clear I hoped the girls would grow up close. I even told them, if they needed a night off after the baby was born, I'd babysit so my daughter could spend time with her sister. I thought this was a family dynamic we could all be proud of. Then came the hospital visit. They invited me to bring my daughter the day after the baby was born, along with other family members. When we walked into the room, I saw my friend standing there, holding a tiny swaddled bundle. His girlfriend beamed as she introduced the baby, using my daughter's name. She said it boldly, like there was nothing strange about it at all. For a split second, I thought I'd misheard. But then I looked at my friend, and he couldn't meet my eyes. That was when I knew. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't ignorance. He knew exactly what they had done. His father, sensing the tension, offered to take my daughter to the cafeteria. I'm sure it was to shield her from what was about to happen. The moment the door closed, I asked them what they were playing at. His girlfriend shrugged and said it was just a pretty name she liked. I asked if they had named the baby after my daughter on purpose. She said no, she just liked it. I asked if they planned to use a nickname or her middle name to avoid confusion. She said she didn't see a need. I turned to him. He finally spoke. Said maybe our daughter could use a nickname. A nickname for the child who had been called this name for a decade. And something in me snapped. I told his girlfriend it was creepy. I told him he was spineless for going along with it. She told me I was being a bitch for speaking to her that way after she had just given birth. She asked the nurses to remove me for being disruptive. Maybe I shouldn't have lost my temper. Maybe I should have waited for a calmer moment. But what they had done, it wasn't just a name. It was identity theft at an emotional level. My daughter has carried that name for 10 years. It's on her school records, her medical files, every birthday card from family. And now, suddenly, she has a half-sister with the same name, same last name, same father. The legal and bureaucratic problems alone are obvious. School records, bank accounts, medical history, credit reports. But beyond the paperwork, there's something even uglier. It feels deliberate, malicious, like an attempt to replace my daughter in her father's life. And the way they sprung it on us, no conversation beforehand, no warning, made it worse. This wasn't a slip. This was a reveal, staged at the very moment they knew it would be hardest for me to react without looking unreasonable. I keep replaying the look on my friend's face. He was ashamed. He couldn't even defend it without hiding behind the idea that my daughter should change her own identity to accommodate a newborn who doesn't even know what her name is yet. And now, I'm left wondering how this will affect my daughter. She was so excited to have a sibling. She's always wanted one. And now, when she hears her own name in that house, she'll have to wonder, are they talking to me or to her? Which one of us do they mean? Which one of us do they care about more? I know what some people might say, that no one owns a name, that parents can call their kids whatever they want. But there are exceptions. There are boundaries of decency. And this crosses it. They could have chosen any other name in the world. They could have honored my daughter by using her name as the baby's middle name. They could have chosen something similar but distinct. Instead, they chose to make two girls with the same father into legal and emotional twins in name. One a decade older, one brand new. I can already imagine the confusion in the years ahead. School pickup lines, doctor's offices, letters from the bank, family events where someone calls out the name and two heads turn. Even their future as adults, college applications, driver's licenses, job offers, will be tangled together in unnecessary knots. But more than that, I imagine the emotional toll. My daughter, feeling like her father's new family, has overwritten her place. The baby, one day realizing she was never given her own name, that she was always walking in someone else's shadow. And I wonder if that was the point. I left the hospital with my daughter that day, silent in the car. She didn't seem upset yet. Maybe she didn't fully grasp it. But I know the day will come when she does. And when it does, it will hurt. I can't control what they name their child, but I can control how I respond. Maybe that means changing my daughter's last name to mine, so she at least doesn't have the exact same full name as her half-sister. Maybe it means pulling back from this idea of blended family I'd worked so hard to build. Because if this is what they think is acceptable, what else might they think is fine? So, am I the asshole for calling my daughter's father spineless and his girlfriend creepy, right there in the hospital room, for giving their newborn my daughter's name? I didn't plan to cause a scene. I didn't plan to get kicked out. But I also didn't plan for them to erase my daughter's identity the moment her sister was born. So you tell me, was I wrong? Or was I simply the only person in that room willing to stand up for a 10-year-old girl whose place in her father's life just got rewritten? And that's where the post ended. Now, as your host, I have to say, this one stays with you. This isn't just about a name. It's about respect. It's about boundaries. It's about the silent messages we send our children about their worth. A name is more than letters on paper. It's a symbol of identity, belonging, and history. And when you give two siblings, especially half-siblings, the exact same name, you're making a choice that echoes far beyond the birth certificate. You're setting the stage for comparison, for confusion, for resentment. To me, the father's silence speaks volumes. Silence in moments like this is not neutral. It is a choice. And in this case, it was a choice not to protect his first daughter from an unnecessary, and deeply personal slight. And to the girlfriend, if this truly was just a name you liked, then the refusal to compromise, to differentiate, to acknowledge the existing child who has lived with that name for a decade, it tells its own story. So I want to leave you with this question. When it comes to family, where is the line between my choice and our responsibility? At what point does exercising your right to choose cross into hurting the people who were there before? Because one day, both of these girls will be old enough to ask the same question. And the answer they get will shape how they see themselves and each other for the rest of their lives. What do you think?